In this week's edition of Cobra's Corner, we're going to take a look at a blitz out of the 3-4 over called Trio Sky Zone. And what we're going to wind up doing with this defense, we're actually going to flip it. And you can tell by looking at the left outside linebacker, you'll notice that he's lined up right here. And right now what he's playing is a curl to the flat. Now, if we were not to flip the defense, then it would be the right outside linebacker playing the curl to the flat. So just keep that in mind. Now, what we're looking to do as far as getting pressure on the quarterback, we're looking to get pressure from one or two defenders. We're looking to get pressure coming from the right outside linebacker in this area here, or we're looking to get pressure coming from the right inside linebacker who will shoot between the left guard and left tackle in the B gap there and apply pressure. Now, let's just go ahead and take a look at the offensive play that we're going to run this against. And the play that we're going to show here is just the I-Form Pro quick slants. You can see that the fullback is staying in the pass block over here towards the right, and you can see in this area here. Now let me just tell you this, because there's a six-man pass protection scheme, chances are sometimes these blitzes will be picked up, other times they won't, just depending on which way as far as who's blocking and what direction. And also don't forget, your opponent can always use slide protection. There's lots of different things they can do to counter these blitzes. But as is, this is where the fullback's blocking towards the right, so chances are this blitz is going to work the way we want it to work. So let's go ahead and take a look at the setup. And what I like about this particular setup is really simple because you really don't have to manually move anybody. You can be in control of pretty much any defender outside. The only one defender that you do have to stay in control of actually is the left outside linebacker. You really can't go off of him if you want the blitz to work, such as what we're about to show here. So what we want to do here is we want to go ahead and put him in QB contain. That is the left outside linebacker. The next thing we want to do is go ahead and spread the defensive line. And then what we want to do is we want to go ahead and re-hot route the right outside linebacker in the blitz. And to do that, you just want to go ahead and hit the RB button. If you're playing on the PlayStation 3, you hit the R1, and then you want to press left on the right stick, and that'll get him to blitz straight up as you look at your screen without ever having to actually take control of him. Now, as you look at it, you can see that we wind up having, as you look at it, actually 5 defenders at this point that are actually dropping back in pass coverage. So we have these 2 guys underneath, and then we have these 3 guys over the top. So you can kind of see it's a cover 3 defense. Now, what we're going to wind up doing is actually adding our 6th defender back into pass coverage, and that's the one that we're in control of. So what we're going to wind up doing here with him is we're going to go ahead and fake blitz him. And so right now, remember, we're in control of the left outside linebacker. We're going to allow him to go up here, and what we're hoping is going to wind up happening is that the right tackle is going to slide out and kick out, or at least maybe possibly a fullback will look to block into this direction here. And if that happens, then generally we're going to wind up getting pressure coming from one of these 2 guys, as we talked about earlier, as far as those 2 linebackers. Now, the other thing that we want to do with this, as far as with the left outside linebacker, once we see those guys getting pressure, then we would want to drop him back into curl of the flat. We could drop him back into a hook zone, or we can drop him out into the flat, depending on what we see. So let's just go ahead and run this and take a look at it and see what happens as far as getting the pressure on the quarterback. You can see right there that we wind up getting that backside pressure. Now, ideally, we do want to drop that linebacker back. I didn't get him back fast enough, but the idea there is to go ahead and do that as far as getting him back into pass coverage. Let's go ahead and run this again after we just go through the instant replay and just take a look at it from a top-down view. You can see as you look at it, what we're trying to do, as I talked about earlier, trying to get this fullback to look to block in this direction. And then the same thing with the right tackle. We're looking to get him to block in this direction. If that happens, then we should wind up getting pressure coming from the backside, which is what we're getting here, coming from the left outside, or excuse me, from the right outside linebacker. It does apply to pressure on the quarterback. So nice little defense there. The problem with this one is, because I didn't drop my guy fast enough back, you can see me trying to, and I actually wind up getting blocked, is there is some lack of coverages against this particular play, because we wind up having the split in, or excuse me, the flanker who's running this slant route in this area here. He's left wide open. And then the other problem with it, of course, is the flats are left wide open. Now, if I was able to drop this guy back like I wanted to, I could be in somewhat position to defend that. Now, the other thing, keep in mind, if that flanker was to run a streak or something like that, then the left cornerback on the outside would actually pick him up, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Let's go ahead and run it one more time and take a look at it again as far as the play, and you can actually see us flip it. Actually, what I'm going to do this time is go through it really quick as far as the setup, so you can kind of see how it would be set up in real time. And hopefully this is a defense that you guys might consider running as far as doing this. So we're going to go ahead and spread the line, do this, and then we're going to go ahead and put him in QB contain. As you can see right there, we got him in QB contain. So right there is the setup, pretty simple, real quick. As soon as you come out of huddle, you can pretty much set this one up. All right, let's go ahead and look at it again as far as with the pressure, and then we're just going to look to go ahead and drop him back, and then we wind up getting that pressure again. That time I actually kind of got him back a little bit quicker than I wanted to, which was good, and that winds up helping out as far as with the coverages. So let's go ahead and look at it one more time from instant replay. And definitely a nice little blitz that definitely can bring some pressure on the quarterback without having to do a whole lot as far as sacrificing your coverage. You can see I'm dropping him back. Now I'm trying to take away that slant and you had him wind up getting pressure there from the outside. And you can also see, again, that fullback winds up going to block to the right. It allows me to get that pressure. Let's go ahead and rewind it. One last thing I want to talk about. Say that this fullback was to stay in the pass block to the left. Well, guess what? He's going to wind up trying to chip this guy, and if he chips him, there's a chance that the the right outside linebacker may not get that pressure, but other times he may still wind up getting in. So I want to point that out to you. That's the way you would counter this, is that you would want to go ahead and hot route the fullback to block to the left. Now, the other thing you could do from the defensive side of the ball, it's kind of where this cat and mouse or the chess game comes in, is that then you could flip the defense back to the normal side. So say that they had this guy right here, the tight end blocking this side, and you started noticing they were starting to pick it up. Well, then maybe go ahead and flip your defense again, and then rather than looking to get pressure coming from this guy, which we talked about, which you could wind up doing, and once you flip it, do the same setup, just opposite, you'd wind up getting pressure coming from this guy. So a lot of things you can do with this one. I wanted to point that out to you guys. Certainly a nice little defense to go ahead and bring the pressure on the quarterback, and certainly one that I wanted to show. So this one's called 3-4 over, Trio Sky Zone Flip. Nice little defense to bring some pressure from the outside, possibly from the inside. And it's one of those ones that you guys might want to check out for those of you guys who run any of the 3-4 playbooks in the game.